What's up, everybody? We're finally back. We are wrapping up the trilogy because it is WrestleMania season. Let's freaking go! And yeah, by WrestleMania season, I mean like WrestleMania weekend. As in, I am really cutting this down to the wire, but who cares? So if you're just joining us, what I'm doing, I'm recasting the entire MCU with WWE superstars because that's low-key kind of fun. And also, it's a fun little challenge for my little autism brain. The rules I made for myself are fairly simple. You know, the wrestler I'm casting has to look like the character, act like the character, but also be in WWE by the time the character is introduced, and hopefully when the character either or just disappears forever, that's when the superstar also leaves the company. So it's a fun little brain teaser for me. Now, when I started this, I did all the way through Iron Man, and I stopped at Ant-Man. So I did Phase 1 and 2, and now we're finally at Phase 3. Even though we're in Phase 5, I'm stopping at Endgame because, honestly, that's just way too much. And also, let's be honest, it's WrestleMania. WrestleMania is the end game for, like, the year of WWE. You know the metaphor. So without further ado, let's kick this off with the beginning of Phase 3, and that is Captain America Civil War. And the good thing about Civil War is that there's not really that many new people. Yeah, it's a big fight, but it's people who have already been here. But when there are new people, they are important new people. Mainly Prince T'Challa of Wakanda and the Black Panther, played wonderfully by Chadwick Boseman. May he rest in peace. And when I finally got around to Black Panther, which was 2016, I'm thinking, oh, finally, there's actually a pool of black talent to pull from in WWE. But honestly, I needed someone with, like, the drive, someone young and upstarty, kind of like how Chadwick Boseman, like, he was acting before, shout out Draft Day, but Black Panther was his big break, because, you know, it's Black Panther. And I needed someone relatively new, and who could jump around and fight like Black Panther. And for me, that is Cedric Alexander. If you have not seen Cedric in the Cruiserweight Classic, look that up right now. And then also him in the Hurt Business. Oh my god, I miss the Hurt Business so much. But Black Panther wasn't the only hero added to Civil War, and dare I say, he was second place in terms of importance because, oh my god, we got Spider-Man in the MCU. And yeah, sure, maybe his movies weren't the best, apart from, like, all the times they were the best, but it's Spider-Man in the MCU. And so, naturally, yeah, I need a young guy, kind of small, who can do all the flippy stuff. And for me, look me in the eye. Look me in the eye when I say this. Put Mustafa Ali in the Spider-Man outfit, you absolute cowards. Do it! He's great! He is perfect. He is my Spider-Man. I don't care what anyone says. It's Mustafa Ali. If he has to be, I don't know, white. Sorry, that's a bit much. If he has to be comic accurate, as you say, Johnny Gargano, because he's like heart and soul and he's like a lovable underdog. But yeah, Mustafa Ali, because duh. And of course, who could forget Civil War without the villain? Pretty underrated, even though he didn't do much. Baron Zemo. For that, I'm gonna do the Miz, because he says he can act. Go ahead, Miz. Act. That's one down, I believe 8 to go, Jesus Christ. But we're still in 2016 with Doctor Strange, going into the mystical side of the MCU. And Dr. Stephen Strange is a really cool character. He's Iron Man with a little sauce sprinkled in there. Egotistical asshole, learns magic, doesn't really become a better person, but, you know, he's getting there. And also, amazing goatee. And so for me, I'm thinking, okay, who's like a veteran but new to WWE, has awesome facial hair, and is absolutely magical? I can only cast my mind back to the Royal Rumble in 2016, when AJ Styles debuted in the dub, and oh my god, yeah, he's magic. He put on classics every single time. I don't know why he lost his first WrestleMania match, but whatever. Next up on the cast list is Wong, Doctor Strange's superior, but also his sidekick, mentor in the movie, even though they become partners at Wong, dare I say the better sorcerer. I just realized MCU Doctor Strange isn't Sorcerer Supreme for that long. He should be. But whatever, Wong. For him, I'm going with what should be AJ Styles' forever dance partner, even though they blew it, Shinsuke Nakamura. I don't feel particularly great that there's not that many Asian wrestlers, but I am working with what I got. And also, Shinsuke Nakamura, I feel like gives Wong energy where he is absolutely badass. He just doesn't care or want to try that much. I'm going to show the clip of him eating the bullet. He ate a bullet. That's how much he doesn't give a fuck. Doctor Strange love interest, Christine Palmer. I'm going to give that to Liv Morgan, because I think there was a time where they teamed up together, like sort of formed the Bullet Club, but not really. Also, again, love interests. You can just throw anyone in there. If you feel like that's a waste of Liv Morgan, that's fine. I can't really think of anything right now. Then we got Mordo, Doctor Strange's, I suppose, actual sidekick in this movie, who turns out to be a villain later. For that one, I'm going to go Jimmy or Jey Uso, because I feel like it works for either of them. And for the villain Caecilius, a student of the Ancient One who actually does turn evil, I'm going to go the other of Jimmy or Jey Uso. And also, I feel like that would help the dynamic in the movie, too. The fact that they're like brothers and one actually turned bad, one's gonna turn bad. It works. And also, Jimmy and Jey would kill either role, because they're hilarious and the best thing on TV. And wrapping up Doctor Strange 1 is the Ancient One. Now, for those who remember when the Ancient One was cast, played by Tilda Swinton in the movie, a lot of people online were confused, mad, but mainly confused, just like, okay, the Ancient One. Yeah, his character was a little stereotypical, but, like, he's still, like, an Asian man. Why is this British woman bald and running a Tibetan monastery? Don't know. But honestly, it's kind of funny, and if I want to be faithful to the MCU, I'ma do that. So the Ancient One will be Stephanie McMahon, fully bald. No bald cap, get rid of all that hair. Get rid of all of it. Maybe if you can bring her back, do Serena Deeb from the Straight Edge Society. That can also work. No, but in all seriousness, even though bald Stephanie McMahon, to me, is absolutely hilarious, in a perfect world, it would be Funaki, because based on all accounts, he is an absolute gem and a sweet man. Or Minoru Suzuki, but that's going outside WWE. I'm doing just wrestling, but man, Minoru Suzuki as a teacher. Oh, that's great. Oh, murder grandpa. But anywho, I digress. We are diving into 2017 Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, from mystical to space adventure. And luckily, like I said before, there's not that many new people to introduce other than the villain and a new member of the Guardians. Starting with the villain, Ego, played by Kurt Russell in the movie. This time I'm going Goldberg. Yeah, Goldberg. Because he came back in Survivor Series 2016 and had a legitimately killer run in 2017, apart from squashing Kevin Owens for the Universal Belt. But other than that, it was cool to have Old Man Goldberg back, wrecking shop against Brock Lesnar. And in Guardians 2, we also got Mantis, who is the best addition to the Guardians team, in my opinion. For that one, I'm doing Asuka. Because Asuka, even though she isn't used properly, is absolutely great. She knows web design. Isn't that cool? Coming back down to Earth, we got Spider-Man Homecoming, a little high school romp, and yes, it is a little weird that all these wrestlers are easily 25 and up, but that's usually how high school movies go anyway. Being led by Mustafa Ali, cowards, Spider-Man will be facing off against the Vulture, a balding old man who kind of picks up the scraps and makes it his own. For Adrian Toomes, I'm going Paul Elrig. If you don't remember who he was the manager of Authors of Pain. I'm not going to lie, this is mainly on look. I don't remember him that much, but I'm sure he can, like, do a menacing speech. Again, it's mainly on the look. Like look at him. Now for MJ, or in this case of the movie, Michelle, until the end. This time, I think I'm going to abstain, because I don't think there's anyone who could realistically play MJ around this time. Like, I've done this spiel before where sometimes I feel like if I put someone who I think isn't a fit in there, that's a waste of a character, or I might be sidelining someone who could fit it better, but things just didn't line up properly. So, yeah, I think I'm going to abstain, because, like, it's Zendaya. I can't think of anyone who could match the energy of Zendaya in 2017 WWE. You know what I mean? Okay, but gun to my head, Zelina Vega, gun to my head. And rounding out the trio for the Home trilogy, I think that's what we're going to call it later, is Ned Leeds, and for that I'm going Akira Tozawa, because I know he's pure comedic genius. Like, watch anything Akira Tozawa does apart from Ninja Tozawa. Great. And then May Parker. That's Mickey James. I feel like I don't even have to explain myself. That's Mickey James. So going from space comedy to high school comedy, we're going back up to space comedy, and I really mean comedy. Thor Ragnarok, baby. 1 out of 3 ain't bad. And again, I don't really have to recast that many people apart from the people we meet on the scavenger planet of Sakaar. First of all, being Valkyrie. Badass warrior lady with killer hair. Bianca Belair, who else? And in the gladiatorial arena, we got Cord, a lovable pile of rocks who just can't stop telling jokes. For that, I'm going Kyle O'Reilly, because who's a better lovable dork than Kyle O'Reilly? Like, even when he was cool Kyle, still a dork, but you love him anyway. And of course, those characters team up to fight the baddies of this one. In this one, we got like 1.5 antagonists. The main one, obviously, the best Thor villain by far. That's going to be Hela, goth mainstay who burned the world to the ground and is now finally back. Going Paige. And honestly, with the way they did up Cate Blanchett, I feel like you could just put Paige in there and no one would actually notice. Like, she would kill it. Along with her edgelord sidekick, Executioner, that's going to go to Aleister Black. Not because he's like edgelord in a bad way, he's edgelord in the best way possible. He's the perfect amount of goth and definitely like plays drums and maybe punched a hole through drywall. But he's not a total loser. And in my opinion, the best addition to Thor Ragnarok, we have the other antagonist. We have the Grand Master, ruler of Sakaar in the gladiatorial arena. Just a weird little guy with a gold robe. And for this one, you need someone who dabbles in weird in the best way possible. And if you can't think of anyone better other than Matt Hardy, you're lying to yourself. Broken Matt Hardy, I think it is just the Grand Master. Like, I think he dimension hopped and just decided to become Broken Matt Hardy. But moving on and trucking on into the glorious year of 2018, where before the ultimate heartbreak, I'll get to that, we had the ultimate heartwarming when Black Panther hit theaters. Oh, to just go back in time and experience when Black Panther hit theaters. It felt so good. Like, just peak Marvel. Like, it got nominated for Best Picture. A Marvel movie. Now, of course, I casted T'Challa already. I feel like Cedric would absolutely kill it as Black Panther. We have a huge supporting cast. And honestly, that's awesome. And it might sound weird saying this, I feel great that I don't have to scrape and claw to find black talent to fill out this cast. And I'm gonna just kick it off with the villain in the best part of the movie, Killmonger. Michael B. Jordan, you are an absolute godsend. You know what? I'm watching Black Panther after I'm done filming this. For this one, I'm going Rich Swann, because he's like Cedric, but he's not Cedric. They're similar, but just so different in the noticeable ways. I can't describe it here, but when you see it, you see it. Also, shout out Rich Swann for becoming TNA champion. Now, you lost to Kenny, but you were still TNA champion. Good for you. We have T'Challa's sister Shuri. That is going to go to Ember Moon, because Ember Moon, low-key, could just be Black Panther on her own. She had a killer gimmick where I think she was like a werewolf, fire, Amazon warrior. I don't really know what her gimmick was other than cool, and she had the best finisher of all time, the Eclipse. It is a jumping stunner with a twist. I'm so upset for WWE fumbling Ember Moon. Like, as Athena, she's great, but oh my god, Ember Moon was so cool. Moving on, sorry. Going on with another badass woman, we're going Nakia. That's gonna go to Naomi. Mainly because names match, and that's a fun bit. But also, yeah, shout out Naomi. She held that down and is so underrated. I'm so glad she's getting a Mania match like this year. And no title. That's awesome. Badass woman number 3. We're going with Okoye, leader of the Dora Milaje, and I'm going Alicia Fox, because Alicia Fox deserves the credit that she is owed. Holding down the Divas division as, like, the only prominent black woman there. She was given garbage, but she was holding it down. And now, I said Killmonger was the best part of the movie. He's not my favorite part of the movie, because that part goes to M'Baku. Oh my god, he's so great. And if you aren't saying Big E right now, I don't know what to tell you, because you're dumb. Yeah, Big E as M'Baku? Hell yeah. I just want to see Big E do the chant. but instead just replace it with big meaty men slapping meat. You know what I mean?
Big meaty men slapping meat.
Now on to the white boys. Is it weird that I'm saying that as a white boy? I feel like I can say that because I'm a white boy. I don't know if I'm going to leave this in. I probably will. There are two of them, so let's do the good one first. That would be Everett Ross. I say good one as he actively works for the CIA, so never mind. Bad one, number one, Everett Ross. I'm going to give it to Roderick Strong because they just have a similar energy, especially if you saw Roderick Strong in AEW during his Adam phase. Yeah, he just feels like a pencil pusher. And then we got baddie number two, that would be Claw. I'm going to go Nigel McGuinness simply for the accent. And also, yeah, it would be cool to see Nigel McGuinness do stuff. Not a lot of stuff, but do stuff. Wow, for so many movies, I'm kind of barreling through this. I think I only have like 3 more to go. But yeah, now it's time for, it's the main event, baby. Or at least main event of night 1. That would be Avengers Infinity War, and honestly, just talking about it brings back sad memories. I don't feel so good. But yeah, so many characters that I casted already. Oh, this is going to be a breeze. Now, granted, there were new additions. Granted, they were pretty much side characters, if not just cannon fodder, but they were named. So I'm gonna cast them. I'm gonna start out with not the first introduced in the movie, but I think a very notable casting because it's a big name and they use him for like 5 minutes and he's never seen again. That would be Eitri, one of the dwarves of Nidavellir, who, you know, make Stormbreaker. They used Peter Dinklage as a giant dwarf. Don't know how to feel about that exactly, but I don't think it's my place to feel. But yeah, for Eitri, it's Hornswoggle. Yeah, how can it not be, honestly? I could have just left it alone, but like it's right there. Like seriously, it's right there. But moving on to the, dare I say, characters introduced in this movie, that would be the Black Order, aka the Children of Thanos. I think only 3 out of 5 of them have actual speaking roles. I did not remember any of their names other than Ebony Maw and Proxima Midnight. I don't know why, but they're there, so I might as well put them in. I can't just have the final 2 just be nothing. But yeah, anyhow, the Black Order. And this one was fun because there were 4 of them in the movie, actually. The 5 are in the comics. And so I'm like, okay, great. I think I could just do a faction. So, is there a faction with 3 dudes and 1 girl and they give off the energy of a cult? You bet your ass there is. For the Black Order, I'm casting Sanity, an NXT faction of days gone by that I wish was still around because they were cool, but sadly didn't happen. But yeah, Sanity. Stars aligned. I was low-key panicking about casting them because I'm like, I don't know what to do. And then I just saw them and I'm like, ah. But anyhow, let's run down the list. We have Ebony Maw, the talker of the group. That's going to go to Eric Young because he was the best talker and the leader of the group. Ebony Maw low-key leads that thing. Proxima Midnight, that's going to go to Nikki Cross, simply because they're the girl. And also, I think they use the same eyeshadow. I don't know. Black Dwarf, I think that's the big one. That's going to Killian Dane. Look at that big boy go. And then you have Corvus Glaive, the other one. That's going to go to Alexander Wolf. No disrespect to Alexander Wolf. It's just Corvus Glaive is, well, the other one. So now, half the cast is fully bitten the dust in this one, and there's no hope for the universe other than someone's got to page somebody. We're going Captain Marvel. 90s throwback, baby. Hey, so this is me editing. I forgot Ant-Man and the Wasp even existed. Whoops. I guess that's a testament to the movie's impact. So for that, 2 only characters that I think are new. Ghost, that's going to go to Chelsea because Chelsea's always fun. And then Bill Foster, that's going to go to Mark Henry because Mark Henry is also fun. Back to the order. Now, Carol Danvers. Badass, blonde, space warrior, and doesn't really have any emotion. I already casted Charlotte Flair, so I'm not doing her. Now, considering who I'm casting, I know their vibes don't match right now at all, but it's more so the meteoric rise, and like back in the day, they kind of meshed together. It's more so just star power, and then the character's actual power, and how cool they are. Like, I like Captain Marvel. I didn't like Captain Marvel back then, but I really love Captain Marvel now. And also, hey, if you want to make money, put this woman on the poster. I'm going Rhea Ripley as my Captain Marvel. Fuck it, Rhea Ripley's such a star. Let's make Captain Marvel goth. I mean, Captain Marvel turned heel in the comics before. She can do it again. Rounding out the cast, we have our first fake-out bad guy. We got Talos, leader of the Skrull Resistance and refugees. Played by Ben Mendelsohn. Lovely. Especially when this was his streak of where he just played, like, franchise baddies. This one, I'm gonna go Carl Anderson. Something about him. I don't really know. Again, I could just put William Regal into this.
Yes, boy.
That joke will never get old to me. But now we got the actual villain, which is Jan Rog, who people thought was Captain Marvel, but is not Captain Marvel. He's just Jan Rog, just a guy. And for this one, I'm going Buddy Murphy, mainly because he just was a guy. I'm just kidding. Buddy Murphy, Buddy Matthews is awesome. But also, how fun would it be to see a husband and wife beat the shit out of each other? And by beat the shit out of each other, I mean the wife just beat the shit out of the guy. But now to more supporting characters, we have Maria Rambeau. And I'll admit, at this point, I was just kind of tired. I was at the finish line. I was just trying to cast people. I saw her name. Brianna Brandy is Maria Rambeau. I do not remember that much about her, and for that I do apologize, but I am sure she is lovely. I'm sure she is great, and I'm sure she could absolutely do this. And then for Marvel, the actual Marvel, I can't remember her identity, but she was like, you know, the old scientist lady, and then she was personified by the Supreme Intelligence. That Marvel. That one I'm going Natalia, because I feel like Natalia, you know, deserves some flowers. She's been around here for a while. Broken I don't know how many records. But you don't need her to do anything, really, so Natalia is right there. And folks, we finally made it. We are in the Endgame now. Avengers Endgame, baby. All the characters coming back to fight the bad guy. Best battle ever. They say the line. They do the cool thing with the hammer. It's awesome time travel nonsense. Piss joke. Tacos. And also, again, everyone's been cast already, so I don't have to add anybody. Hold on, I have my notes there. Okay, I have one person. And again, this isn't really a character that I have to add. But again, I feel like if I do nothing for Avengers Endgame, that's anticlimactic. So instead, I'm just going to do a side character who was literally in the movie for I don't even think a full minute. And that would be grown-up Cassie Lang. And it's even funnier because that version of Cassie Lang was recast in Quantumania, so that's even more anticlimactic. Anyhow, yeah, for this one, I'm going Tegan Nox, simply because she was a young wrestler, she was awesome when she was there, and she had Captain Marvel, like, on her gear. Like, her gear was Captain Marvel themed all the time. She seems like a huge Marvel fan. Get her in there for a little bit, and that's it. And folks, we did it. We did it. And by we, I mean I. I did this. Thank you for all those who watched this. This was a very fun and stressful thing for me to do, especially since I'm pumping it out probably on the day of WrestleMania, if not the day before. So thank you. Again, if you disagree with some of my castings, let me know. If you think I just absolutely nailed it, absolutely let me know. But anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoyed the show. And I really hope you can cope with the fact that John Cena is absolutely beating Cody Rhodes for that title. I'm going to make a second one in case I'm wrong. And I really hope you can cope with the fact that Cody Rhodes is absolutely beating John Cena for that title. I'm going to make a second one if I'm wrong. Good night!